So you wanna learn about beer? Stay tuned and never fear. They're the guys for the case, 'cause they'll tell you all about what they taste. We got Mudhole, B&Q, we loves Star Wars and grilling too. And Knox got loves baseball and board games, he's played them all. There's no place I'd rather spend the Monday nights than here, having a few chuckles and damn good beer. Now it's time for Two Bitty Guys.
What is up? Back on a Monday with the Two Bearded Guys. No sans Tyler this time. Real life just winds up continuing to kick all of us in the ass. So this is just his turn. So that's where we're at. But we still got off-screen Matt. He's not quite so lovely off-screen Matt. That's why he's off-screen. I am Mudhog B&Q, and joining us tonight is the ever wonderful traveling doctor,
Dr. Drew
Woo!
from Poplar Brain.
Hell yeah. We're excited to have him here. He's bringing us some health tonics. He's bringing us the gossip from all around the state. Just like those traveling doctors from yesteryears.
That's right.
Hell's yeah.
Health tonics, I like
Keeping everybody healthy
Yeah, yeah. And informed.
and informed.
We're
Yes.
gonna start calling that in the future. It's like, a health tonic.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not getting drunk. I'm improving myself.
Improving myself. But we are going a little lighter on the show tonight, a little bit shorter show. This is the time of year where, once again, work, everything starts to kick us in the ass a little bit. I am freaking exhausted. I think we closed 135 work orders today at work.
Only 135?
Only 135. I'm brain dead. So I'm doing pretty well right now. Can't imagine 2 hours later where I'll be. So.
I
But
have faith in you.
we are here, so excited to be here. I don't know what else I got. Matt, you got anything right now?
We got EB on, says hello, and I'm sorry or you're welcome.
Yeah, I know,
Hey,
exactly.
we'll see.
He says hopefully he cellared them somewhat decently. EB, that's where this came from.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. All love, EB, all love. I appreciate you
Yeah,
so much.
Appreciate that, sir. And it's funny because Drew was just saying that one of those at least was a brewery he hadn't been to, and he's in Florida recently, so that worked out pretty serendipitously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We were trying to figure out what we wanted, and Drew's like, what brewery was that? That one.
That one. Yes.
That one.
I didn't make it to that brewery. There's so many great breweries in Tampa.
Yeah, there are. Tampa's a lot of great places. We were just in Milwaukee over the past weekend.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of great places there, and we just scratched the surface. We'll probably hit, how many did we hit?
Well, we never went to Miller. I don't know if you want to count that one, but that was cool to
Miller's
see.
a brewery, and it's
Oh.
probably, I'm assuming it's the largest in the state.
Yeah, but I was surprised at the look of it. Like, it kind of had a college campus feel with the old brick buildings and the way it was laid out with streets running through it. And it's just different than I expected. So that was a pretty looking place to go through. Reem and I, we hit Lakefront at least for a beer.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys made it over to there or not.
So Lakefront.
So that was a cool place to be in because I think it was funny because Reem had been there before and he was like, "Oh, they expanded this immensely from when he was there years ago." So it's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool to see they're doing well enough to blow it out." They had a big ass waterfront kind of patio downstairs you could walk out to the lake. Well, I guess river, whatever it was right there. Not good geography. Yeah, it was a really nice place in that one too. You said you guys went to at least one that night that I don't think Reem or I went to.
Yeah, that's all right. We did. I'm honest right now. I don't remember the name.
There's another one we hit. It was a magic sleeve or something, or wizard sleeve.
Wizard Sleeve. We hit that one up. I don't think the Belgian bar was a brewery per se, but it was definitely
one of my highlights of the weekend.
a Belgian beer bar.
Yeah, and our bartender even told us how they're one of 3 places. I don't know if you're there to hear that have all these chamois on draft, and that Epcot, and I can't remember what the other place was.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's pretty rad.
Yeah.
On top of being
I
a really awesome
think if I
bar.
remember right, she said not even Epcot has it.
Oh, okay.
So 1 of 3 places, not including Epcot, which doesn't have it. I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, that was a really awesome place.
Yeah.
Right across the street from that market, which is also a really cool place.
I think at Miller, The caves were really cool. That was probably my favorite part.
Agreed.
But I think the other thing that stood out was the stats. So they obviously it's Miller Coors. So they brew all those. They have a bunch of foreign beers that they distribute, and out of Milwaukee, they handle 10 states around there, right? And they said out of all the beer that they distribute, 20% stays in at least the state. I don't think it's just Milwaukee. I think 20% in the state of Wisconsin. 40% goes to the other surrounding states, which leaves 40% for the city of Chicago. 40% of everything they distribute out of that fucking place
Went to one town.
goes to one town.
Granted, it's one of the biggest towns in the country.
Third largest in the country.
Yeah.
But still, when you're getting almost half of what a gigantic macro brewery is producing, that's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Wisconsin's the state that's got 17 of the top 25 drinking per capita cities.
Right.
Chicago's still schooling.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So that was a really cool fun fact. Have you ever been to Milwaukee?
I have. It's been a little while. I think the last time I went was for Summerfest, music festival out there.
There is, and I don't know much about that area, but I did see something about like an iconic music venue up there. I couldn't remember. I'm assuming that's where the Summerfest is at.
Yes, I know. I don't know where it's at. I know
Can't remember
Summerfest
the
is a
name of it,
big,
but-
like almost week-long thing. One of my buddies, his wife is from Wisconsin, so they went back for a few years and went up there.
It's been a while, but we're gonna try to get up to. Family's gonna try to get up to Madison this summer sometime.
Okay.
I've got family that lives up in Madison, and they told us to come up and go hit the Dells, and then on the way back, stop and see them and stay at their house.
It's awesome.
I have got to say, I was a little let down with the Cheese Castle. Not, in fact, made of cheese.
Not made of cheese. Not even a moat of the cheese sauce.
No nacho cheese mode. I was told there was a drawbridge. It's just chains that go down into the concrete. Brian lied to us on that one.
Hell of a Bloody Mary though.
Hell of a Bloody Mary, though.
That was fucking
That
tasty.
was a really good, and it was a surprisingly simple one, too. Sometimes less is more, as
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
apparently a V8 and a little bit of garnish, and there goes pretty far.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And my favorite stop though has to be Glorioso's Italian Market.
That was fun. That was
God damn, I want to go back up again just to go there. Freaking delicious. You got anything else for us?
Evie says the beer baron spots up there are super cool. There's a travel show that you could hit sometime when you're in the Midwest. He says when we go west, kissy face, winky, winky.
Just got to give us a little more time than 8 hours before you're leaving.
I think it's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of situation.
Yes. All right. So we got 4 beers that we're going to be drinking tonight. Like I said, keeping it a little bit lighter. But Matt, what are you most anticipating?
That is a great question. I just totally spaced to look. I'm going to go with Drew brought something. I'm going to go with that.
It's a stout, so that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Drew and I do have a similar taste on
I
that.
do enjoy a good stout.
I'm sure there's going to be better beer probably, but I'm interested to try the hazy oat milk IPA. Really want to see what that oat adds to that. I know what it would normally add to a beer, so I want to see how that comes through.
No, I agree. I'm interested in the oat milk, just because it's a change of pace from like lactose, like it's adding that lactose to an IPA without adding lactose to that IPA.
So you're reading it as it is oat milk versus a hazy with oats in it with lactose.
That's what I'm guessing is that they added oat milk to it to make it like give it a little bit more body, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Like I said, that's what I'm interested
We'll
in.
call Scooby-Doo, see if we can figure it out.
You could probably read it on the side and prove us both wrong.
Yeah.
And it probably says something
Actually,
completely
option
to the
C,
contrary.
dumbass.
Really not necessarily clear.
Like maybe oats added to the grain bill.
Right. That was what my assumption was, but I don't know. Doesn't clarify. All right. So then we'll go ahead and get started. I'll get this first up. Unless you got anything else for us.
Here for now, I was getting ready so I can search that when we get to it, see if I can find an answer.
Look at you actually trying
Trying
to
to actually do some off-screen
Ah.
shenanigans.
Love it.
See, if
Love
Tom's
it.
not here, I get a little more motivated.
Man.
Well, that makes sense. So, all right. quick rundown of scoring, because what we do on the show is we're going to taste the beer, we're going to talk about the beer, we're going to go off on 10, 15-minute tangents, and then we're going to be, oh shit, we never rated the beer, because we also rate the beer. So, we're going to do that. It is on the Untapped scale. It's a 5.0 scale in quarter increments. For us, we give a 3. A score of a 3 is an average score. If we give it a 3, hey, this is an average beer for its style. It's not outstanding. It's not bad. It's just what it is. Moving on up to a 4, that's when we start to be like, man, this is not only a solid representative of the style. When I want this style, I'm going to go search this one out because I like it so much. Going above 4.5, that 4.755, that is the cream of the crop. That is some of the best beer you have ever had.
Somebody say it tickles your Elmo.
Oh, tickle your Elmo. Elmo's your tickle, whatever, or pickle, whatever.
Tickle your pickle, twick your tweeter.
Yes, all the great sayings over the years. Moving on down, that 2 to 3, still pretty solid beer, but it's kind of a miss. Maybe it's a little bit old. Maybe they tried for a certain flavor, didn't quite come through. Maybe it's unbalanced. Once again, not horrible by any means, still drinkable, but something a little off about it. Going 1 and 2, it's like, okay, I don't really like this beer. It's not the worst beer in the world, but I'm not gonna really drink it unless it's the last beer in the house, and it's still there. So, and then below 1 is, oh my God, this is god awful.
Fuck it out the window, son.
We would drain pour it, but we don't drain pour. So, that's our rating scale.
Eloquently said, John.
Yeah, eloquently said. All right, so beer number 1. We're starting it off straight American lager from Central Machine Works Brewery out of East Austin, Texas.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Texas
I
beer.
know.
Do you not have faith in Texas beers?
No. Texas and Florida, we don't have a lot of faith in either, so we're hopeful that some of these Florida ones will change our mind. And I kind of gave up on Texas. I don't think
I
they're
brought a
gonna do
Florida beer because Tyler was, talking such not good things about Tampa beers or Florida beers. So I was, I don't know,
Gonna prove him wrong?
hoping to prove it wrong. And then, of course, he stood me up like it was prime night.
Yeah, you did prove him wrong on a hazy IPA, too.
I
Though,
did.
heard recently,
I did.
So.
And I suppose that's why I didn't show up.
Love it. All right, so let's pop this one open.
So while John's pouring there, Drew, I heard, speaking up for you, were down there recently. What were you doing down there? Just hanging out the beer scene?
So we went
Flex
down.
some of that hot muscle?
We got invited. Well, we got invited by Joe at Arcane. We had done collab in previously the year before with Joe, and breweries he had done collabs with. He invited down to his festival, and we were able to pour some of our beers with the people that showed up for his festival, and it was really pretty cool because there was people who showed up from the festival from all over the United States. It was really cool. It was also cool because like I saw some other Indiana beers, or I saw an Indiana mead that showed up, and I was like, hey, that's cool. Who brought that? I want to know who brought that. Who's from my neck of the woods? I just want to reach out and say, hey, wow, small world. But
Right.
I think you and Drew, you and Stefan, you guys do a great job of just talking to people in the industry, branching out. I mean, anytime I talk to either one of you, you're like, oh yeah, we're talking to these guys from Pittsburgh or these guys from Tampa. I mean, you guys, you don't know a stranger. You're just and you're fun and awesome to hang out with. So
I like being excited about good beer.
yeah.
And when you got two cool cats like Stefan and Drew, it's pretty easy to talk to them, so that
Right.
always helps.
Right. So
Speaking of Stefan, he's watching.
whoa,
What's up, guys? Drew is looking quite dashing.
Dashing.
hell
Why,
yeah.
thank you.
the dashing.
I had to
Dr.
let the
Drew.
hair down, I knew I was going to be with somebody with no hair.
Yeah, he needed a.
Got an offset?
Yep.
No offset.
Appreciate that.
EB says Texas beer, trying to defend them, has such wild variances in quality. It is so hard down there, he says. And we got Below Armory. If it was in Bluffton, it may have been him bringing the mead. especially if it was a session PB&J. That sounds
I'm not
like
sure.
it.
I'm not sure. So, there was a bone flour meat I'd seen, so I knew somebody was up from the Chicagoland area. So.
Nice.
And I also had seen a Gnosis stout on the table. So,
Okay. Yeah, someone else was around.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's your favorite beer. I feel like that one's got a little more oomph to it. Like it's got a little more flavor, like than just a traditional lager building. Kind of like it stands out.
It's got a little more back end for sure.
it does. I was thinking that little bit, and it's not a heavy hop bite. It's just it lingers a little bit,
No.
which is pleasant.
No, there's a touch of hops there to just kind of remind you that it's a beer.
Yeah, I mean that's the most. That's the time the kind of the most like it's a beer, like easy drinkable. I mean, I think I said it was 5%. Little bit of that hot bite to let you know, yeah, this is legit.
Nice and crisp.
I can have a few of those
That's
for beer flavored beer. That's one that I would reach for. Like out of
beer.
a kind of row on the shelf, like that's one that I would think would stand out.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's well done.
Kind of impressed with that. Where did it say that they were from?
Austin.
Austin, Texas.
Holy shit! I'm gonna have to eat my humble pie after this.
I like the
episode.
touch of bitterness for sure off the back end. But
I oftentimes drink lagers because, and it's okay. I don't mind that lingering hot bitterness. Obviously, I think in many beer styles, it's absolutely key and important to have that there. But it's not always my favorite thing. Oftentimes I like a lager just because it's a little bit lighter on that versus something like a Pils. With that being said, I don't mind it and I think it's delicious. It's probably for me, if I'm drinking a lager, it's a little bit more lingering bitterness than I would personally prefer. But I mean, it's not bad. It's good.
no, I think it's well done. As far as crushable, I could drink 2 or 3, but I couldn't. Like you're saying, like generally with a lager, I could drink. What I'm expecting is to be able to crush
Yeah.
them, have them kick back, and be able to drink 3 or 4. Have it be a boat beer where I forget how many I've had.
Right. But if you drink, I think more than 2 or 3 of these, I mean, it's lingering, it's there, and I don't know how much more than that you're going to be
Right.
drinking it. So, any other thoughts, Matt, before I score it?
I got a couple comments I can rip off here.
Go ahead.
Says Austin keeps it weird. They do. I've been. It's a fun little place. I don't know if I say that little, but little bastion of people who demand fresh taste. He says.
I think it's the new
It's
comedy
fresh.
capital of the world.
Yeah. There's a lot of, South by Southwest debuts so many different things, and so many pop culture trends start from there nowadays.
He also says that he thinks that might have came from his buddy. So, thanks, Evie.
Yeah.
Katie Wiltz Zeman. I'm sure no paid advertisements here. Drew is a fantastic way of getting to know someone and matching them with the perfect beer.
Yeah, so that would be my twin. So.
I mean, it's like a doctor. He's going to listen to you. He's going to hear what your symptoms are, and he's going to be like, all right, this is what
Here's
you
your
need.
prescription.
Here's your
That's right.
prescription.
It's the bedside manner.
Yes,
Drink
exactly.
2, call me in the morning.
So, with that beer, I do think it's a really good beer. I have some personal quibbles with it, but I'm not going to knock it for it or anything like that. I'm not a search it out, but I think it's solid. I'm going to go 3.5.
Yeah, I was going to say 3.5 as well. I wouldn't necessarily search it out. If I found it on the shelf, I might buy it, but I thought it was well done really good for a lager.
I'm going to swing a little higher. I'm going to go 3.75. It's just something that kind of differentiates it a little bit more than most of the lagers that I've had. Like, so if I saw it on the shelf, I think I'd reach for that over. Not going to search it out by itself either. Also, tip of the hat because it's from Texas. That's the first Texas beer I can remember thinking was actually
Even
good.
being above a 3.
Aside from like a crazy Martin House, and they're even
I would
better
say
than
I like
Right.
the Martin House pickle,
Right.
the standard pickle. I've had a few of their pickled sours that were not great.
Yeah, but even their like double can boxes, those are hit or miss depending on what you like and what they made. But they've had a couple that I've liked, but by and large, I'm like, on them.
Yeah, if
I
this was
respect them.
if this was a relative scale and you could take a look at the ratings for beers that are just from Texas, you'd see this is probably one of the highest, throwing out Martin House, one of the highest ranked Texas beers we've ever had. So,
That's either saying something about us or something about Texas.
right, exactly. So, awesome.
Edie says, "Damn it, Matt."
All right, I'll get going towards the next one, but Drew, you got anything necessarily you want to talk about? What's your next sack launch? Let's talk about that.
Next sack lunch. So yeah, we have a lot of people that are actually anticipated about the jellies, of course, like the peanut butter and jelly with Concord grape really took off. It like blew up across. I don't know, blew up on Untapped. It blew up to across social media. We took some down with us down to Tampa. We shared it at Arcane's Beer Festival. It got a lot of hype reviews while it was down there, and has then become sought after. But the new flavor coming out this next week is blackberry jelly with the with the classic peanut butter white bread. It'll taste like an Uncrustable, but with blackberry jelly.
I'm a fan of blackberry jelly.
I cannot wait. I am anticipating it tasting a little bit better than the Concord grape, only because it being a berry, I expect it to be a little bit more jammy.
Yeah.
So, and if it's anything like the jam that's come out on like the Sack Lunch Parfait, like that one, it was almost like mead. Like it was so jammy. It was like I was like, I would drink this next to a mead, and I was just really impressed with it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the blackberry for sure.
So you talked him out of doing the ham and cheese sack lunch, huh?
So I don't know, like we have like had plenty of people who have said something like, "Oh, you're gonna do something like that," and we've thought about like it'd be fun to do like a one-off keg just in house. We would never release something like that into cans or something, but I don't know, it might be fun to do something like that.
Yeah.
Add a little liquid smoke so it tastes like pork. I don't know.
Listen, people say stuff is weird to me. That just means they're interested.
That's right.
Yeah. Now,
Awesome.
when you guys are sourcing your different ingredients for this, are you in fact a member of the Jelly of the Month Club, and that's where a lot of these are coming from?
No, not really a Jelly of the Month club, but I don't know, like Stefan's mad mind of coming up with, how to make things taste like he says it's gonna taste. It's beer, but it ends up tasting like a sandwich. It's beer, but it ends up tasting like pineapple upside down cake. It's beer, but it tastes like peach and blueberry cobbler. So, but we've got some other fun ones coming up. We've got a fruited sour spring break coming out with Pax Vernum next week as well. So that's another fruited sour to look forward to.
You said it's called Spring Break?
Spring Break, and that one is got it's a smoothie sour with banana, pineapple, orange, lime, and vanilla ice cream. All of our sours are gluten free, and then that ice cream is lactose free. So we do our best to have all of our sours be gluten free as well as lactose free.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
We do our best not to put lactose in any beer, mostly because I don't want to tell anybody not to drink our beer that has, lactose issues.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that has lactose issues. I know this beer has lactose in it.
Oh, sorry.
I have no problem with that. I drank an Underbird before I even came here today just because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So that's fair.
So, this next one is from Pontoon Brewing. It is called Nightmare Fuel. It is a Berliner style Weiss with cherry, raspberry, blackcurrant, and lactose. So we've got the paper towel ready. I have rolled it. Pontoon Brewing is out of Sandy Springs, Georgia.
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 Can anyone hear that and not think of Ray Charles?
I mean, I was thinking that as I said it. I didn't sing it, but it was there.
Yeah, like every time I
it's
read it,
coming,
like we have a purchase order at work for that, I'm like, Georgia.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
No guys.
Thanks for the warning, EB, but unwarranted. So, Drew, you were saying, you mentioned the pineapple side down cake. Is that something that might be making a reappearance anytime?
It made a reappearance the last run on Fruited Sours.
Son of a bitch, I missed it.
That one is so
You
good.
might still find it out in about. Not sure if Total Wine picked up that one or not, but I did not see it out at the Total Wines I was out at today. But I do know from when we were down in Tampa, we had gotten a lot of hype from being down there, and people started trading us online pretty normally. So I was told that a few of the stores were wiped out of Fruited Sours, and I'm finding that to be true. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Probably
That
want
is
to
a
have,
good
yeah.
I can smell this from it sitting on the table. I didn't even
That's
need
not good. Like that nose. Woo!
Oh, Matt's not going to like that nose. Whoa.
I don't mind the nose.
Oh, you were a
Does the
kid.
nose bug you?
Oh.
It's not that bad. I smelled like
Whew. That's enough over my edge. EB says, sorry, this one just because it was to be counter to the Dark Nightmare fuel from Colorado. This would be a very opposite of that, so I guess I see
Oh,
your
it
point
would. It
there,
would.
sir.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's on the nose. Well.
It's a pretty rad can art there, too, though. Getting that whole, shit, was it Stranger Things going on there? Nice little nod on that. That drink's much better than it smells.
I don't know. I'm a little torn on it.
I like the upfront, but, like, the finish
Yeah.
is a little odd.
It's so on the nose. You get funk, but it's I think it's almost less funk and more vinegar on the nose.
That can be fair.
It was a big woof, and I was like, whew. And then when I first tasted it, I was like, okay, no, it's not as vinegary as it smells. But then that last lingering after flavor there, I think it tends to be a little vinegar. It's not horrible, but I think there's some there.
I feel like the berries might kind of help exacerbate that a little bit too, where it kind of leans into that vinegary, that tanniny kind of finish.
almost drinks like a kettle sour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Thad just jumped on and said, "Sup, Drew
Sup?"
in the house."
But also with mentioning the berries, like I'm only getting like the tart and like seed aspects of the berry. I'm not getting any jamminess or any fruitiness from it.
I don't know. There's no going to say this. When it first hits my mouth, like I get a little bit of that slight jam. Then it goes pretty quickly into the tartness of it. But up very, very front, I get a little bit of that,
I mean, it's
especially
not,
on the first sip.
not overtly sweet or anything like that.
No.
Oh, Jim Monroe, long-time watcher, not frequently early commenter. Funk is not good. Jim, I am in your boat. That's why we both like stouts, buddy. That's why I appreciate you.
I like funk. I don't like
I don't,
vinegar.
I don't mind funk. Like, I mean, lately, as every liquor store I go into, every one that still has Funk Factory bottles on the shelf, I buy them all.
So we did stop at a brewery in Chicago on our way up.
Oh, yeah.
Anna Mornay or something like that.
It was spelled really funny. It was like Una Amory or Amy. It ended with E's.
It's really funny because on their wall, they didn't have the name of the brewery on the wall. They had the pronunciation. So, Unane. Unane Brewery.
Not quite how it's spelled.
It is not how it's spelled, but it is pronounced Unane. And we had some funk there that was funky and actually really delicious. So I enjoyed that beer there. But this one I'm not enjoying quite so much.
I almost feel like if we had it after the oat, it might come across better just because it would come across as like a palate cleanser.
Right.
But I agree, it's not. I expected more out of it than what I'm getting out of it.
Yeah. more I drink it, the more my score's going down.
EB says Una Ane, if that's how we're pronouncing it, is great. Surprised, he's been there as well.
Right. No, that thoroughly enjoyed it. The food I was hoping to be a little bit better. I think the food was a little more on the average side. But at least the beers that we had, they were pretty solid.
Mm.
Yeah, some
Chunky
Chunkies.
Monkeys, yeah.
Yeah, I had some Chunkies.
Stop there. It's just a smidge, yeah.
Drew, you
Well,
go.
that's the smoothie.
You go first on this one, buddy.
I go first on this one.
Bring on that rinse.
Yeah, please.
All right.
Actually, can we take a break after this? Is we only do the 4? Or just power through?
Oh, we can power through. It's fine.
Okay.
I have no need for a break.
I'm sure it makes more sense.
The
Sorry to interrupt.
I don't know. I felt like it was a little lackluster. I don't know the age of the sour, so I don't know if it's fallen off some or not. But I just feel like, like it had like the tartness was there from all those flavors, but there was no sweetness from any of those flavors. And I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite. Wasn't my cup of tea, but.
Yeah. Matt.
Um,
What'd you score?
Oh, and a score. I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel like, as far as like, it's a bear liner. They did what, they, I think, accomplished that. It's not overtly sweet, but I would give it a 3.
Go an average on that. Okay.
Just an average. I wouldn't seek it out again. I've like other pontoon beers I've had, so I would still seek out their beers, but I just probably wouldn't seek that one out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little harsher, primarily because that nose is very off-putting. Like, that was something that was like, I'm going to hate this. Drinking it made it better, but then the more that I drank, I felt like I liked it less, like John was saying. It's just the finish on it was kind of off. There were some things I did like about it, just kind of missed in a few places. That's between 2.5 and 2.75. 2.5.
Okay. I tell you what, like, nose was a little bit off-putting. First sip was like, okay, and then I continued to drink it, and it just got worse to me. There's nothing that stands out about it as being good. When the best thing you can say about it is, I don't know. If this were in my fridge, I would avoid it until it was one of the very last things. I don't think it's drain poor by any means, but I certainly don't like it. I'm going to go 1.75.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's
It's the beer he's going to bring to the campground.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to pawn that off on someone else.
That'd be a cooler
It's
roulette.
going to be one of the cooler roulette beers.
That's exactly what
We
that
do throw
would
some
be
good
for
ones in
me.
there too, though. They're not all the ones we don't like.
Yeah, I had some. I had some duds out of the
We try to warn.
roulette. No, I know. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
Yeah, no, that is exactly what it is. So that does make it a 2.5 average. So
Oh, I missed. Stefan said Una Ane is good stuff too, so I'm guessing he's also either been up there or at least tried somewhere along the way. And Evie says, yeah, that might be a little long in the tooth, so maybe.
and maybe that's what it is. So that's yeah, but I would try it again. I like Berliner Weisses and other sours are among my favorite styles. I typically find them pretty easy to drink, even though they're sour. They don't sit heavy on my stomach like some other things do. So I tend to gravitate towards them, but that one was not for me.
I'm going to listen to you read this one so I can look up and figure out this whole oat situation here.
Well, there's nothing much to read on there.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of IPAs, we've got a big one coming out next week as well. So collab with Butchertown. If you're not familiar with Butchertown, they're a brewery out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Andy's producing some of the best stouts I've had. As his barrel age program is fantastic. He makes some great fruited sours, but he wanted to come up and do an IPA with Stefan. Stefan's been killing it on his New England game. So we've got a triple New England IPA coming out with him.
Nice.
So,
Oh, yeah.
And where exactly in Louisville are they?
That is a good question.
Because it
I have not been to the brewery. I think they're close to the Louisville Slugger.
I was thinking that was.
Trippish.
Remember the chicken beer one that we had with the feather on it and everything?
Oh yeah, that was shit. That was down the street from.
It was right by the stadium, across from Angel's Envy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I know what that is if I heard it, but it's not that.
It's not Butchertown.
No, I'm 90% certain it's not. It's
Okay.
If I heard it, I would know it.
Well, EB will probably know, which I would welcome the answer there, but
And that one had. He says
because Brown Note was
Brown Note was one, and it was their labels all had kind of like fun caricature art on there, and they had barbecue too, which I don't know if that's that hard to find over there, but
right.
Stuff says just east of downtown in Butchertown for them,
Okay.
or for Butchertown, I presume.
So new IPA collab coming out.
Yeah, it's a triple New England. It's 10.5%, and it's made with Citra, Nelson, and Tahiti.
Okay.
So.
For the record, we were thinking of Against the Grain.
Against the Grain. That is correct. Yeah.
Against the Grain.
Yep. Against the Grains.
Yeah, Evie just typed in Against the Grain.
Great place actually. I like
3
the
minutes to
Grain.
couch,
They
you'll figure it
have
out.
the
but-
Brown Note.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is,
Against the Grain's pretty good.
Yeah, they were up here a couple years ago for the Hoosier Beer Fest when they had that park.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, damn, you guys came all the way up here. Like, shoot.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool.
The couple quick event notes from the Two Bearded Guys. We were going to be attending the Shake Up event on April 11th, but they have postponed that for now. So no longer are we going to be out and about on the 11th. But we will be in Bargersville on April 18th for Death and Taxes. Woo! That's a fun one.
There's not too many towns you go to where the whole town shuts down for a beer fest.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not a very big town, but...
And when everyone in the town is at the beer fest.
Yeah, it's a fun event. A lot of people show up. It's just busy, but then now they stretch it out kind of through that main drag, kind of help spread it out a little bit. A lot of breweries show up. It's a very fun time. Good atmosphere there.
Good atmosphere, and I believe I'm gonna say it out there because I have full confidence. But we should be debuting a new shirt that event as well. So
nice.
Yep.
Is that the one I think it is?
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
It was for a type of stout, perhaps.
Yes. It's
I
moister than some things.
Then maybe a seafaring thing.
In a shell, yeah.
Okay.
It might rhyme a little bit.
But we're talking about the same thing here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an awesome design, though. Shout out Hannah from Quaffon, who
Quite killed it.
killed the artwork. So
Nice.
yeah. All right. Up next is Peace, Love, Mash. Hazy Oat Milk India Pale Ale from Ology Brewing Co. It is actually a collab with Garage Barcelona. Created and packaged by Ology in Tallahassee. It is a 7%. They use Rawaka Brew One and Rawaka Hop Keef. There is no other description of it. So,
How do you spell the brew name on that one?
Peace.
Well, the brewery, I should say.
Oh, brewery. Ology.
I was way off.
Yeah,
Ology.
we didn't make it over to
Ology.
Ology when we were in Tampa. I was one of them I wanted to make it over to, but I'm super kind of excited to try this one because of that.
Really, the only description on here comes from the government warning. Because, according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects. And 2, consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car or operate machinery and may cause health problems.
I suppose that's an important basis to cover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm going to enjoy my tonic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, at least on the quick searches here, not finding a lot of details besides hazy oat milk IPA.
Yeah, Drew's probably right. It's probably made with oat milk versus lactic acid, but
Either way, we're kind of interested to find out exactly what they did do with it, in case it was something else.
it's a nice color. It is hazy.
Yep.
It's maybe a little bit of chunky, but I don't think anything too bad.
It smells great.
Oh, it does smell great.
EB says, "Ology, woot woot."
Oh, it smells wonderful.
I feel like I get grapefruit on the nose. Maybe a little bit of orange in there.
Definitely skunky.
Yeah.
But not off-puttingly so, because
No.
usually you get a little too far into that, I get writing off pretty
No,
quick.
not
and
like
it's enough there that you know it's there, but it's not like punch you in the face. Well, it's not like punch you in the tongue with it. Let's go that way.
Right. See, I like that one.
I think it's well done.
I quite
There's
like
a
that
touch of bitterness off the end,
Yeah.
and I like that. Stefan often talks about making sure even a hazy has a touch of bitterness off the end to remind you that it's an IPA.
Yeah.
So
No, I think it's important because it's, I mean, I know that they're supposed to be more approachable for non-IPA drinkers, but I think you could convert non-IPA drinkers to IPA drinkers with a little bit of those traditional IPA characteristics in a hazy.
As a quasi convertee myself, yeah, I kind of started off with the hazies, like, oh well, because these a lot of times have more of that, more citrus fruit forward. They're not as hoppy. They're not quite as pungent or dank. They're easier to drink, and then like after you get used to that, then you can kind of get acclimated to a little more of that more hop forward stuff. I still definitely have that IBU hard line. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I know it when I drink it.
Right.
I'm like too much, but it definitely does kind of help gear your tongue towards that palate.
I mean, that lager we had earlier lingered greater than what this does.
yeah. Though it's drinking really well. There's a little bit of a burn off the back end, like in my throat.
Get a
Just a
little bit.
touch of green, but from the hops. But I think it's really well done. Like I really enjoy it. What I like about it is, after I take a sip, it like leaves my mouth like hydrated.
Right. It's not totally drying.
Right.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. This one's
Oh my God, it's so juicy.
There we go. I haven't used that one for a while. I had to find that button.
it is pretty juicy.
It is actually. Like, it's got
It's
a
really
nice
juicy.
fresh squeeze kind of juice component to it, and I think fairly well balanced for like what is in there.
Like grapefruit.
Which that can get really pungent really quick. So you know it's there, but it's not in the driver's seat. Kind of gets a nice oranginess to the center of it. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Like
good.
grapefruit, some orange.
That's what I got.
That hint of pine resin, but not overwhelming.
I don't know what Riwaka is supposed to provide in there. I'll do a quick search on that, but
If Stefan's still watching, he'll tell you what it does.
right.
Robin. Oh man, got some comments on here. So EB has got the hands praying and the little halo head. So it sounds like it had held up well.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's great.
He think that is how hazies is supposed to be. Things like this and Allagash White, if you guys have had that or recall that one. He says it's the quenchiest. I quite like that word. I don't know if it's an officially a word, but I think we're gonna make it one now.
Right. Google says that Riwaka hops dominated by intense grapefruit, passion fruit, and citrus zest, lemon lime. They say so.
Passion fruit I get for sure.
I say a lot.
And
That's
I
still
bet the
present.
passion fruit's where you get that skunkiness, that funky.
And they do say that there's subtle herbal undertones like fresh cut pine, and almost a Sauv Blanc sort of aroma too. I don't know. I got orange. I mean, not orange, grapefruit for sure.
Grapefruit
And I
for
thought
sure.
a little bit of orange.
I'd say it kind of starts grapefruit and then kind of migrates orange pretty quick, and then a little bit of that piney, resiny finish.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy that.
Yeah.
Thanks, EB.
Almost like a little bit of lemon peel too.
Yeah.
Just the juiciness of it too is kind of refreshing. It's been a while since I had one. It kind of has that component to it.
Right. So, what are you going to rate it, Matt?
Oh shit! I'm first. I like that enough. I would search that out. And I think what's on the can is in the can. I think it's well done. It's well balanced. It was refreshing, both just on my palate and to have one that I have enjoyed this much. I'm gonna give it a 4 1/4.
Awesome. I mean, this is a Florida beer.
And it's a Florida beer.
It's a Florida beer.
Also proving wrong today, just knocking down all kinds of walls. And Tyler's not here. He's gonna be like, didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Yeah, it didn't happen.
That's right.
Play back the tape.
I mean, we gave a Texas beer a 3.5. I'm giving this Florida beer a 4. So really, Drew's going to determine this final average. But we're right now hanging above we have a seek it out on a Florida beer unless Drew just tanks this.
No, I'm not going to tank this beer. This was great. I'm super fan. I'm super stoked that I got to try it because we didn't make it to Ology while we were down there. I was kind of, you can't make them to them all. There's so many breweries.
Yeah.
There's so many great breweries. And we were there for another agenda. Going to other breweries was not that agenda. It was a perk of being down there. Yeah, I'd easily give this a beer a 4, and I would seek it out again. I would try it again.
Hell yeah.
I would buy it again. And that goes a long way for me because I'm not an IPA guy. I don't buy IPAs. That being said, when I was down there, I did buy an Angry Chair IPA. Bought a 4-pack of it because I thought it was fantastic.
Nice.
So, and it was an all Citra IPA, and Citra's my jam.
Yeah.
I'm slowly, coming into that IPA. Like, I sell our beer on a regular basis. So, objectively, I have to try every beer and know what a beer should taste like or what it should represent. That hits all the marks. It's fantastic.
And it would be nice to get some confirmation, but we're assuming that this doesn't have milk lactose in it. We're assuming it's oat milk. So.
Yeah. I'm assuming that. So
and that for you, that goes a long way, and for other people who have those issues.
Those issues, for sure.
Yeah.
Now maybe throwing out a Tallahassee trip, so we gotta be careful what we're saying on here. We're gonna be booked up. We may have April 11th open, but we may not anymore.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. We'll just book up all of our free weekends with trips.
I got to pay some of that credit card back off.
All right, yeah.
Two in the last month has been.
Tried 3 in the last 30 days.
Yeah. It's fun, but shit.
It is fun until you look at your credit card statement when you get back. Like,
Right.
wasn't that fun, baby?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Oh, so we've hit up events. We've hit up some new sack lunches, a new collab. I mean, what else you got going on?
So, this year is a big year for Hopler. We got a lot of moves, a lot of moves going on. So, we are working on leaving our current location. We've been at the mill.
What?
Yes, we have been at the mill for 9 years, and it has been a great run there. And I don't have any complaints from being there. It got us to where we're at.
It's an awesome place. It's just unique in that structure.
It really is. But really, we're brewing our beer in Warsaw. We originally brewed our beer in Leesburg. We grew out of our brewing space there. We brew our beer in Warsaw, and now it's nice. We have found a building where we can get everything under one roof, and I don't know.
That's awesome.
Collectively, it's a good move. It'll be our building.
Okay.
A couple of our partners are purchasing the building, so it'll be our building.
That's awesome.
That's a big
deal.
move.
That's a
and,
big move.
We're gonna be on Lake Tippecanoe.
On the lake.
So we're gonna be on the second biggest lake in Indiana.
Hell yeah.
And it's we're gonna have 8 boat slips and we're gonna have a good time this summer.
So there's gonna be pull right up, get off boat, dock on there.
Pull right up and have a good
grab
time
some
with your
hop lore.
family. We're gonna have a designated dock space for our carry-out program. So you'll be able to come in and grab carry-out food, carry-out beer, hit the lake, be right back out on the lake. So
You said this summer, so like when's it
this
happening?
summer. So well, we'll be making a post here soon. The mill will be closing up here soon at mid-May.
Okay.
We'll be throwing down and having a good party. Of course, a lot of people are going to want to come out to the mill because, like you said, it's a fantastic space.
Yeah.
And there are going to be a lot of people that are going to want to come back for those memories and come back, to join us and
See it off.
as we celebrate leaving one building and moving on to a new venture. So
That's
but
awesome, dude.
I'm really looking forward to this summer. I'm expecting good things to come out of it, and I'm just really looking forward to our growth.
I am too.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Beer.
Especially being on the lake, that's badass.
You guys are making waves with your beer.
Yeah,
The
fun.
kitchen's already awesome. If you haven't been there, I mean, the food is just fantastic.
I mean, yeah, Stephen,
Well,
he used to put it out in the kitchen at some point, right? Then he kind of migrated to being a brewer. He might know what he's doing with some food.
well he ran a kitchen. He ran the Barbie Hotel, which is a local restaurant there. So he has restaurant background, restaurant management background. We will be adding Detroit style pizza to our menu. So another reason to come on up.
But you're still doing all the tacos and the beef charcuterie. I mean,
We're still gonna have all the smoked meats that you've grown to love. We're still gonna have our taco program. We're still gonna have our nacho program, but we're gonna be adding a Detroit style pizza to the line.
I normally don't like Detroit style pizza, but I'm very willing to check yours out. There's a couple that I've had that I do dig, and I'm excited to see what you guys do with that. So I'm sure that will be good.
I know that it will be fantastic. I can't let all the cats out of the bag, but I will tell you that it will be fantastic.
well,
You might have had a sample by now, you're saying?
I have had the sample before it was ours.
Okay, nice.
if I remember correctly, they've done their research very well.
I would presume, yeah. I expect nothing less out of you guys.
We're doing a lot of changes. Hopler will have a lot of changes, moving forward. At the new location, right now you're used to just, your bartender staff and our kitchen staff bringing out your food. We're going to have waiters and waitresses at our new location. We're going to have multiple bartenders working at the same time.
Nice.
We'll have the outside area. The outside area is really cool. There's a container that's on the property that turns itself into a tiki bar during the summertime.
Oh, yes.
So we have a tiki bar out. So the new location will be called Hopler Tiki and Taps.
Okay,
Nice, I dig it.
that's
And I'm guessing larger space inside for more seating capacity as well.
It'll have a decent amount of seating capacity inside, as well as we'll have a carry-out area separate than the bar. So like you'll be able to buy carry-out through the bar, but essentially you'll be able to go into a carry-out area where we'll have our beer and other beer available to go, as well as our food to go. And we'll be setting up a catering program so that you can get our smoked meat products in a bulk version. So
lots of businesses up there that could probably absolutely take advantage.
yeah,
of that.
we're gonna do our best to recreate Hopler a little bit there. The industry is really changing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of breweries closing, and unfortunately, I say this, unfortunately, it has become more of like restaurants that brew their own beer versus breweries. And I do believe that, the wayside breweries that we're watching disappear sometimes are the ones that don't have food in their establishments.
Yeah.
Mostly because you come in, you have a couple beers, and then it's time to go because you don't have that option of like filling yourself with another appetizer before you go, or like knowing that you can eat and have another beer. Or
It's such an interesting discussion because on the one hand you always hear like margins in restaurants are so tight, and the rising costs of ingredients and things like that. But also, like, if you know how to run a restaurant can run for years if it's run well. And I don't see any reason, like, my experience with your guys' restaurant and your kitchen and all that good stuff, like, you guys know how to do it.
We're doing well with what we're doing. It's just about improving upon that and making it a little bit better. Really trying to overexcel with our customer experience.
And right, that's absolutely key. And then the secret weapon of, hey, you guys are buying that building, you said.
Yeah.
So that's
huge.
That's huge.
It definitely gives a little bit more stability to the project.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Killer.
no, I'm
Badass news.
super
Looking
looking forward to it, and it's definitely going to be a destination location. Like, yeah, pull up your boat, bring a boat. If you don't have a boat, we got plenty of parking, and we got good beer. And
TBG breaking fucking news. Look at us.
EB says Hopthorne North Shore Brewing for a lake trip this summer. Him and Justice are definitely going to be heading north.
absolutely, this summer is going to be dope.
Awesome. Well, we got
That's pre-certified dope by Dr.
That's
Drew.
right.
Pre-certified
that's
dope.
basically
That's right.
a prescription.
That is. Yeah.
That is it's
Take
take an ounce of sunshine, 16 ounces of beer.
you
And-
take that to your local pharmacy, get that thing filled.
About a half a pound of meat, right? Like, please say if you guys are doing like carry out and like catering stuff, you guys are gonna have a sign somewhere like our meat, ask us about it, something like that. Take it home with you.
Something like that.
That was for free, Drew. You can take that one with you.
All right, on to our final beer, and I am absolutely going to mispronounce this, maybe on purpose, but also because I don't really know how to pronounce it. So I'm just going to Indiana it up. But this is from Magnanimous Brewing. This is the Ritual of Chud.
That's about right. I think that's
It's got the little umlaut above the U, and I don't really know how you pronounce a U with an umlaut.
Motley Crue.
Chud? Chewed?
chewed.
Maybe chewed? Is that what some
The Ritual of Chewed?
Yeah, the
Chud.
2 dots.
It's Chud.
Chud definitely has better.
The Ritual of Chud.
Whichever makes you feel better, I suppose.
Right? It's just a barrel-aged blended imperial stout. Oh, shit.
We did not spend much time at this brewery, but to me, they had the best stouts that I had while I was in Tampa.
Okay. Now, did you have many stouts as a baseline? Or was that the only one you had? So by proximity,
I
was the
had
best?
some of theirs. I had some Angry Chair. I had some at Corporate Ladder. I had a stout at where else did I have a stout? Woven Waters.
You know, for not being on a beer trip, sounds like you got around pretty okay, though.
We did all right. We did all right.
That perk seemed like it worked
Yeah.
out pretty well for you.
All right, here's what we have. The Ritual of Chud is a blend of 2 imperial stouts. One, aged in a 6-year Willet Rye whiskey barrel for 34 months with coconut, cacao nibs, and vanilla beans added.
I just heard what Drew's trying to do to me.
Cacao!
Nope.
No.
Coconut. But yeah, well,
Coconut.
we can throw a...
Thank you.
Cinnamon you have a problem with, not coconut.
That's me. I'm the cinnamon guy.
I can't ever figure out your adjuncts. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not tough it through.
One aged in Kentucky Owl bourbon barrels for 33 months with cacao nibs, vanilla beans, and coconut added. Cacao! So, both barrels, coconut, cacao beans.
I have been humbled by
And
coconut
vanilla
before, where I've had to admit defeat to that tropical nut. Is that still a nut, or is it just called coconut to fuck
Yeah,
people?
I have a feeling you're gonna have to succumb to your.
My inner
God
stout.
damn it. Does phrasing even matter anymore? Is it even a thing in this group?
Not really.
We're nutting in tropical locations and succumbing to things.
That's correct.
Yeah, what's weird about that? What do you laugh about that, John?
Oh, look how beautiful it pours.
Well, on the viscosity viscosity meter, where are we at on that one, John?
Oh, it's very viscous.
I'm about to say, have we hit viscous or we're not quite there? Ooh, that was a blurb.
It's kind of fun finding just the right pour, just the right.
You're doing great. You're on screen and everything, buddy. You're in frame, nailing it. Well, that was a little a narrower hole, shall we
That's
say?
right.
You gotta be a little careful on that stream, buddy.
I was a little scared. Hell yeah. It's kind of fun.
See that was the wide open one.
Give Matt a big fat pour.
It's a big bottle, and there's 3 of us.
Yeah, I have had, like I said, coconuts where I had to admit, like, all right, that was pretty good. So I'm trusting you, Drew, and I'm hopeful that this is gonna be another
Oh,
one
if you
that's
don't
gonna
like
be
it, you
wrong.
can always.
I know a guy.
You can give me the rest of yours.
You know what I do not see on here? I don't see the ABV.
Ooh, don't look it up. I will, and we can guess the ABV game.
Unless Drew knows it. But...
Well, I sent it to Tyler earlier.
Oh.
Okay, so
Right.
we don't need to play the game. But if we might want to look it up because it's not on the bottle.
I was gonna say, you and I don't know, John.
So yeah, if Drew finds it out.
If we want to, get after that. It's been quite a while since we've done that. That's what we're doing, the guessing on tap, which...
No, it doesn't say it in
Yeah.
it doesn't say it in that spot. So yeah, I don't. We
Good.
might have to look it up and we might have to guess. But
Ritual chud.
Chud.
See if I can Google that. Excuse me.
that's fantastic.
I get lots of cocoa nib. Hint of coconut.
Hint of coconut.
Very little nut on the nose, yeah.
I mean, I get that
The cocoa, but not the nut.
the barrel's there, but it's not as strong on the nose.
I also 36 months on both.
33 and
blends.
36.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's 3 years on both. That's a long chill time. This guy's got some patience.
This is fucking stupid.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Holy shit.
Okay, if there's coconut in there, I don't even fucking care.
I know, right?
I'm not even sure that I find the coconut in there.
I know one thing. Tyler's missing the fuck out.
He's sure. Today's been a pretty good beer day, man.
I mean, that... Okay, so on our way home yesterday, we stopped at Fair Oaks Farms because you're going to drive by there. I drive by there a couple times a year. I have to, right? I got a chocolate malt. This is every bit as chocolatey as that fucking chocolate malt from Fair Oaks Farms, which was Rick and decadent as hell. Fuck. That vanilla, those cocoa nibs, god damn.
No, it is a fantastic beer. I bought multiple bottles of stout from them.
I can see why.
I think I left over $200 in carry out when I left there.
Had you tried this one before you left, or just buy this one blind?
I bought this one and another one blind, and I had another one that they had on tap. And based on what it was on tap, I didn't even care what else.
That's why I
So
didn't
you
know if
hadn't
could
had
do
this
one.
before?
I've had this one before. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I've had it since I've been home. I shared it with a friend of mine, and I knew it was fantastic. And I knew I wanted to bring it here because, well, I anticipated Tyler being here, and I know for him, like the overtly sweet, overtly
diabetes, right?
adjuncty stouts are not his cup of tea.
Diabetes.
I know he grades them.
Barrel-aged stout, coconut, chocolate, vanilla.
And I know he grades them pretty harshly, but this one didn't come off like that.
Not
this one
at all.
this one has the adjuncts without like the overt like sugar bomb.
Yes, very, very true. It's not sugary. It's not diabetes, but
But
it's still rich, but not in like a sugary way.
you didn't get extracts. You didn't get artificial flavor. You got vanilla bean.
Yes.
You got cocoa nibs.
Yes.
Like those are actual things, right? I I'm assuming based on that, on everything else, they got actual coconut flakes. They probably toasted them up. I mean, they use the actual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell there's no artificial anything about any of this. And that blending of both those with the barrels, you get that
Little,
little bit of like the
Lit-
caramel, the little bit of the vanilla. Not even like hardly any oak or barrel char. Like
Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they filled a bunch of toasted coconut into a
yeah,
cheesecloth bag and just suspended it in there and
Yeah.
let it sit for a while.
absolutely. I took not even a big gulp. I did a medium gulp, and I that's when I sipping it. I didn't get really any barrel. Medium gulp, I got some barrel, and it was fucking. I mean, it just balanced well.
No, it's
Ooh, the big gulp is a thing of beauty on this because you get a
a
little,
little bit more of the booze.
a little more of that bourbon bite, especially in the back. You get a little more of that decadence coming through. It's a little richer, but still not overly sweet or sugar bomb. That is a wonderful level of complexity, but simply done and well balanced and fucking delicious.
My friend that I shared this with
Ooh,
last week compared it to a horse.
because a horse is also rich and decadent. I don't know if I've ever
Yeah,
eaten
it's just
horse.
a horse. It's a horse. Hours, I think it's a stout.
Okay.
And
At first
I
was saying-
thought. I was gonna go whore, but maybe that really high classy one that,
That
hangs
was-
out
that
at
was my
the
next
five-star
guess.
hotels.
First guess was horse. Second guess was
Horus.
whore. Horus. Not anywhere near where I was going.
No. Horus. No. You're making it sound like a Horus would be like like a whore that has like a royalty coming to her.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's
That's
the same level.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's top banana at the ranch, right? That's the Horus, and then you got the.
That's right.
this isn't 38th and German Church. This is
Yeah, you were saying horse
Park-
sales.
this
They
is
do make
Park
a big
Place.
stout. And he also says, John, he's going to catch you on your mispronunciation, sir. He says, Rick and Decadent. Hey, John, you pickle Rick stout boy. That's pretty. That's why I had to read that one.
Pickle Rick.
Must be a sexy stout to get you tongue tied.
it is. It fucking is, dude.
All right, so question with this then, because I think this is an important factor before you rate, especially on a stout. We said we couldn't find the ABV. You guys aren't aware of what it is. I did find that. I do know what it is. What would? We'll start with Dr. Drew as the guest. You guess. Actually, I want to let you go first, but you drank there, so you might have a more working knowledge of where they're floating around. John, what would you guess the ABV of this is?
So, I don't think it's overly boozy. It's there. And I'm sure it's boozier than what it tastes like.
If you want to do a taste like and what you think it is, I'm going with 2 scores on this. I'm not Tyler.
Like, tastes like probably a 9.8, but it's probably a little more to like, I'll say 11.2.
Dr. Drew.
I would say 11.5.
Son of a bitch.
Tastes like and you think it is, or
No,
would you give a different drink
I
score?
would think it. I think it tastes and drinks like it's somewhere around 12% or lower.
Okay, all right. So Drew is on the money. It is at 11.5.
Son of a bitch.
You could have been closer without
Son
going
of
over
a
if you didn't
bitch.
hit it. Yeah, like,
I could have been, but
Screw you, Drew.
God damn.
and that's why he's the doctor. He can prescribe this to the letter. He knows what beer people needs to get their health tonics.
He does. And don't let Surgeon General tell you differently. This is a health tonic.
EB just threw out a 12.5 as a guess. He was pretty close, a
Yes,
little
was.
over, but yeah.
Over.
It does not drink like 11.5 to me. That's like John said. I wouldn't guess that it's low, but I would probably say like 9.5, maybe a 10ish.
Yeah.
Which that to 11.5, I don't know if it's that big of a swing, but
But,
at the
I
same
mean,
point,
it's...
like I've had other 10 plus beers that drank way harsher than this one does, and especially this having the 2 blends of 3-year barrel aging. I could have expected this to have a lot more bite, and that is just wonderfully lifted.
Wonderful.
No, it's super fantastic.
Thank you for sharing, Drew.
You're welcome.
That is, and this would be yet another beer that humbles me with coconut. So I got a Texas humbling, a Florida humbling, and a coconut humbling.
And that's a Florida humbling.
And another, I think I just need to go home and repent. I'm not sure. Say some Hail Marys.
Soak your feet.
In the wise words of Shaquille O'Neal, tell me how my ass tastes.
So you have to put your feet in Epsom salt instead of just drink it.
Oh, man. We might have to wait for the show's over. I was to ask Dr. Drew, like, all right, what do I need to solve this melancholy that I've got with my life suddenly?
Well,
I'm sure he'll line me up with a delicious, wonderful stout that I can buy on my way home to remedy my vapors.
this is... Yeah, it's funny. Well, I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone,
But I feel like this is going to be a pretty good score.
but I'm going to give it 5.
Yeah, I talked with my friend Jeremy the other day about this beer and said that it was definitely a 5 on Untapped. I would give it a 5 on Untapped. I don't give 5s. So I don't know. I'm pretty impressed with it. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, great. I mean, like, if I had any complaint about it, it would be that there wasn't any carb. But when I drink a barrel-aged stout, I'm not looking for carb.
No.
So,
I mean, you put a hint of carb on that, and that's
Right.
it.
Yeah, I just devil's advocate. I was trying to think of any reason not to give it a 5, and I can't. So that's we'll call this basement a perfect 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And since we played the one game, now we've got the other we can play. How dumb is people on Tapped? What do we think the Untapped score is? how right or wrong are people
So
on
we
there?
do normally get the number of people who've rated it.
Okay, fair. I can do that. Make sure my giant head blocks your view of the screen here. It is 106 total. That's pretty not very high.
it's not very high.
It says 36 monthly. I don't know if that's...
Okay.
It is a pretty fresh beer, I'm guessing, maybe?
Yes.
But yeah, only 106.
So not widely known out there, which tends to tell me is probably mostly beer nerds. They tend to typically overhype a few things, which you can't overhype this. To me, I mean, it's a fucking 5.
That would be
So,
impressive, yeah.
I'm gonna say the universal score is at least a 4.48.
All right, Dr. Drew. And we do Price is Right rules on here, so closest without going over.
Okay.
We try to frown upon doing the score of 1, Bob, just because, at least go with 4.
But it is
Or
a
at least
valid
go with 3.
strategy.
I mean, like, the worst part about Untapped is all the people that would do still don't like stouts, 1.
Right.
And
This is John's hot button in the drinking community.
so,
He will wax poetic for this one.
but
Or angrily.
I'd say 4.54.
Okay.
The currents at this moment, before our score gets uploaded, might change. But at this moment, it is a... Where did I see it? I saw it. 4.38.
Ooh, we're both over.
I knew I was high,
You were
People
closer than I was.
Are
Though.
wrong.
They were wrong.
but both we busted. Well, that's all right.
It's all those 1-star, still don't like stouts.
Felt more barrel than adjuncts. The adjuncting felt more like engine out characteristics than a nice bold BA stout.
That's
Fuck off.
That's somebody who likes a sugar bum.
Yeah, fuck off.
That's somebody who likes syrup.
Yep. They want extracts and artificial flavors.
Yeah. Not gonna give that guy's name on here.
Hell, do it. I want to fucking tell that dude he's a fucking dumbass.
ED gets 4.5 for the home game. He was also a little over as well. And that deserves much better.
Oh, that's
It does.
Which I suppose, beforehand, any other hop lore news that we should be abreast of, good sir?
Not really. I mean, I think I've hit the nails on the heads for the most part. I mean, like, I would continue checking out our Facebook page. Of course, we always do something around May 4th, for Star Wars. So I assume we'll still do something in-house. Of course, we won't have our festival. Just too many things going on to do our festival. But last year, instead of a festival, we held, something similar in-house and just released some special beers. And I do know that we'll have a beer coming out around the same time. We're going to revisit doing Fuck Cancer as a beer. We do F cancer. And it's this year's, my mom passed away right before Christmas. She died of cancer, and we're going to do a QR code on there with a charity that really helped out with her, when she was going through that. So it's a really neat program that, gave people with cancer free wigs, gave them free rides to all their appointments, gave them free in-house massages. That's awesome. There's lots of just free things that they offered them, and I thought their group was really cool. And I unfortunately don't have the name of the place right now, but of course when you find that beer, you'll be able to scan the QR code.
It seems like it's those things that even though they're little things, they just remind you you're human.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
So I don't know if we're going to be able to pull it off, but I know that the goal, of course, Stefan asked me what we wanted to do, and we had done a peach blueberry cobbler earlier this year. That was a dessert my mom always made, and he asked me what I wanted and said, "This is a dessert Mom always made." She was able to have that one before she passed away, which was real fun.
Oh, nice.
But her favorite cookie to make us all the time were her famous Snickerdoodle cookies. So,
I was going to say Snickerdoodle.
And we get Fuck Cancer.
So we're gonna try to accomplish a Snickerdoodle cookie in a Fuck Cancer beer. So.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah!
Hell yeah!
So, those are that's the skinny on Hoplar right now. But keep watching our Facebook page. We're having big things happening, and of course, I'm sure Stefan will upload some, video footage sometime soon of what to expect out of the future of Hoplar.
Nice.
In a time where a lot of your local places are struggling, I mean, they continue to put out some great stuff and make some moves. I think they're going smart about it.
Very good to see success and continuing to move forward and stuff. So very glad. Congratulations, glad to hear and see that for you guys. Couldn't happen to better dudes.
It's passion, knowledge, skill, talent, hard work, and a vision, and they're putting it all together.
A dash of quality.
Integrity.
And integrity. So
and continuing to brew with imagination.
yes.
I like the. And we just happened to watch Imagination Land on South Park this weekend. So.
Imagination Station.
Yeah. So I know it's a short show tonight, but we got three of us, got some big beers. So we always, as always, want everybody to enjoy ourselves, but also everybody get home safe. So we're gonna end it.
Well, not before.
I know. We definitely got to do that.
Don't make sure you got ahead of yourself.
But definitely want to thank Dr. Drew again for coming on the show.
Hey, yeah.
Always a wonderful time.
Always a great time, my friend.
We are Two Bearded Guys. Will be out about, like I said, on April 18th, Death and Taxes. And then, I'm going to speak for Tyler because he's not going to fight me on this. We're going to do whatever we can to get up there to support the last couple months of the mill. And then, you know what? Tyler's got a boat. His family's got a boat. I want to go boating. And I just happen to know the perfect new spot opening up soon. So,
there you go.
Hells yeah.
And we'll be the original ones you can tell because we're playing boats and hoes. Because I'm sure no one else will be doing that.
Nobody.
That's
not a sandbar song at all.
All right. The final thing to do is Beer of the Night. This isn't necessarily the best beer that we had. It could be the beer that shocked you the most in a positive way. Kind of like that, reach around sort of deal or whatever. But, Matt, what do you got?
Surprisingly, for being a shorter beer night, there's a lot of good options here. I would say at least 3 out of 4 have a valid point to them. before we started, I was like, I can't pick the stout, kill the stout guy. Like, I gotta try to find. And I thought that lovely IPA, that hazy, was gonna be the one to take it because I'm like, this is gonna be a good stout. Drew bought it, but like, it's not gonna, The surprise factor of that one was quite pleasant. But no, it is indeed this. What was it? The Ritual of Chud, because this thing is just magical.
Drew?
I mean, I knew it was going to be the beer of the night
When I packed
it in my bag this morning. That being said, to me it is the beer of the night, but I'm a super fan of this Ology beer that we had. It really impressed me. I will say that the stout is my beer of the night, but man, if
Strong showing.
Yeah.
if I hadn't brought that and you had shared a different stout, I would have probably picked the Ology.
There's at least 2 new breweries that I'm going to be on more of my radar to be looking out for.
Yeah.
Which are not going to be really available around here since I'm from Florida, but I'm going to keep an eye out for them.
I might know a guy.
Might know
I
a guy.
know a guy.
Does he write prescriptions?
He doesn't, but he fills orders.
Yes, that's how you take the prescription too. And yes.
John, your choice.
I mean, it's Chud, right? Like, fuck. That beer fucks.
It sure does.
Chud is
And that's why they called it Chud.
fucking rock hard. Hells yeah. It's
Like-
Chud.
Like, when we know that you came, you showed up, you got chudded.
You got chudded. Yeah. Guys, thank you.
Dr. Drew, always love it. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Salud. Here, there it is. Boom. Had to find the right one. Go.